What do we got here?
What I have is a first American edition of Jules Verne, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This is the first one that was printed in the United States. It was printed in Boston.
I got this pen that LBJ used to sign Medicare into law in 1965.
I'm not sure how many pens LBJ used to sign the Medicare bill into law, but he used as many as 100 to sign other historically significant bills. So there's probably a lot of these out there.
The episode starts with a hilarious bit. The old man brings donuts, and Corey, Chum, and another guy start betting on which kind Rick will pick. They wager a free lunch. Corey says chocolate, Chum says pink, the old man says plain. They're all staring at the box like predators. Rick walks in, immediately suspicious. This silly, petty bet perfectly captures the show's family dynamic. It's a running gag that will last the whole episode.
I'm good.
Brought you some gifts.
Sweet. I always take donuts. Well, leave the plain ones.
First real item. A seller has a model of the Spruce Goose and a small wood piece used as an engineering test sample for the real plane. Rick is fascinated, calling it an incredible feat of engineering. The seller wants $10,000 to fund an inventor trade show. Rick dives into the history. Howard Hughes built the massive plywood plane during World War II due to aluminum shortages. The potential here is huge, but so is the need for proof.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good, thanks.
What do we got here?
This is a model of
A Spruce Goose with no propellers.
The seller explains he got the piece from an engineer's widow at a garage sale. Rick's skepticism is clear. He loves the Howard Hughes story, but notes a letter from the previous owner isn't great proof. The seller insists it flew, with Hughes as the test pilot. Rick wisely calls for an expert from an aviation museum. This is the classic Pawn Star's dilemma, an amazing story versus verifiable facts. The $10,000 dream hangs in the balance.
one of the engineers that worked on building this passed away. His wife was having a garage sale, and she knew that it was important to him.
The donut bet continues. The guys try to force Rick to pick one. Rick refuses, saying they're acting like crazed lunatics, and asks what laxative is in them. He flat out refuses to play their game, saying, "Something's up." The old man grumbles. It's a perfect slice of workplace comedy interrupting the high-stakes deals. Rick's stubbornness is legendary, and their childish bet is incredibly relatable. This subplot is strangely compelling.
I could totally go for a donut right now. What do we got?
Your favorite. Pick one out.
All right, cool.
We have a bet going on to see which donut Rick will pick.
New item. A seller brings in 6 limited edition prints by artist Stephen Fishwick, featuring icons like Elvis, Bob Marley, and Picasso. Rick likes them, explaining Fishwick does live painting for charity. The seller wants $500 each. Rick notes they're jikely prints on canvas. He sees the cross-collectible appeal for music and art fans. The negotiation is friendly, with the seller using Bob Marley to charm Rick. It's a nice, lower-stakes change of pace.
These are cool. I mean, it's nice art. I like this. People will buy this. Stephen Fishwick, he's a good guy. He does a lot for charity. He would get in front of large audiences and literally paint one of these paintings much, much larger than this.
Yeah.
The art negotiation. Rick offers $150 each. The seller counters at $300. Rick comes up to $200 each for all 6, totaling $1,200. They haggle down to the pennies, finally settling at $215 each. The seller is ecstatic, getting more than he expected. Rick gets a set of cool, marketable art. It's a smooth, successful deal with friendly banter. A win-win that contrasts with the tense Spruce Goose appraisal happening elsewhere.
Meet me halfway. $250 for the sake of Bob Marley.
No, I mean, $200 a piece is what I could really do. That's right around wholesale on these things.
Okay, $220.
All right, $210 a piece.
$215.
You know what? $215 a piece. So I can get you out of my store. Come on, let's go.
Expert Mark Hall-Patton examines the Spruce Goose piece. He confirms it's authentic, part of lamination tests for the HK1 Hercules, the real name. He explains the engineering behind bending wood with heat and steam. He notes many engineers took samples home, so it's not unique. This is the crucial info. It's real, but not exceptionally rare. The expert provides the history Rick wanted, but also the market reality Corey needs.
Well, we can call it the Hercules HK1, which was actually the name of it. The HK1 was, of course, the largest plane that was ever built of wood, and so they did a lot of engineering tests on laminations.
Corey delivers the brutal offer. The seller wanted $10,000. Corey, armed with the expert's not rare info, offers $200. The seller is shocked, calling it a piece of art. Corey says his boss wouldn't be comfortable spending anywhere near $10,000. No deal. The seller walks, deciding the lowball offer was assigned to keep it in his Howard Hughes collection. A dramatic fall from a 5-figure dream to a couple $100.
If you can go down to 200, we got a deal.
$200. I need much more than that.
It's just something my boss wouldn't be comfortable spending anywhere close to $10,000 on. So I didn't even come out here to negotiate with you. That's what I can
okay.
do. Well, thanks for bringing it in, man. I had a great time learning about the HK1.
There you go. That's the proper name.
The donut bet climax. The guys finally confess they have a bet on Rick's choice. Annoyed, Rick refuses to pick one, denying them satisfaction. He says they wasted tons of time and all he can think about now is eating a donut. He walks away, spoiling their fun. It's the perfect petty victory for the grumpy boss. The sheer commitment to this silly storyline is what makes Pawn Stars so uniquely entertaining.
What's the deal with the donuts? And what are you guys doing here?
Pick a damn donut.
I'm not gonna eat one of those donuts.
You don't have to eat one. If you had to pick a donut, which one would you pick?
Final major item. A seller brings a massive detailed architectural model of Robbie Stadium, now Hard Rock Stadium, made of corkboard and balsa wood. Rick is amazed. The seller explains it was used to sell the stadium concept in the 1980s. Rick gives context. Owner Robbie built it himself after years of sharing a field. The seller wants $12,000, citing an NFL Hall of Fame insurance value of $25,000.
How in the world did you get this thing in here?
Very carefully, man.
All right, so what in the hell is this?
Miami Dolphin Stadium.
I'm assuming an architectural rendering or
Yeah.
The wild backstory. The seller got the model from Cleveland because Art Modell, the Browns owner, wanted to copy the design. When Cleveland wouldn't pay, Modell moved the team to Baltimore, creating the Ravens. Rick jokes, "God, it must suck being in Cleveland." The model is a relic of 2 NFL franchises' histories. This tangled sports drama adds immense character to what's essentially a fancy dollhouse.
Well, I got it from the city of Cleveland because Art Modell, the owner of the Cleveland Browns, he liked this design so much as well. This is what he wanted built there too. So
how did that work out for him?
The stadium model negotiation. The seller wants $12,000. Rick offers $4,000, arguing it's hard to sell. The seller counters at $8,000. Rick goes up to $6,000 firm. After hesitation, the seller accepts, needing to downsize. Rick wonders aloud what to do with the huge thing. He scores a unique piece of sports history. The seller is content, avoiding the hassle of moving it. Another deal where context outweighs pure cash value.
How about 7?
Big House, I'll build you this for $3,000.
$6,000, man. That's what I'm willing to pay.
Whew. I think you're gonna make a lot of money on this.
Deal, man.
The episode opens with the guys ruthlessly roasting Rick. He has a guitar and is taking lessons. Corey mocks his sausage fingers and age, saying, "Once you lose all your hair, dude, you don't need to be taking guitar lessons." Chumlee says if Rick learned, it would become less cool. Rick's exasperated, "God, I hate you guys" is perfect. The family dynamic is hilarious and petty right from the start. This running gag sets the tone.
No, this is my guitar.
You can't play the guitar.
I know I can't play the guitar, that's why I'm taking lessons.
But you're almost 50.
So?
Once you lose all your hair, dude, you don't need to be taking guitar lessons.
First big item. A seller brings a first American edition of Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. He found it at a garage sale for a few bucks and wants $10,000. Corey gives a funny, simplified plot summary, mixing up Captain Nemo with Finding Nemo. The seller reveals he had it professionally restored. Corey is intrigued, but wisely knows this is a big item needing his dad or an expert. The potential is massive.
So this is the book with Moby Dick in it, right?
No. Moby is not in this book.
No, that book's called Moby Dick.
Oh.
You ever hear of Captain Nemo?
Finding Nemo.
The seller stands firm at $10,000. Chumlee hilariously says, "Corey, I think you better call your dad over here." Corey decides to prove himself and takes the book to a book expert, Rebecca, instead. He says he needs to show he can handle rare books on his own. This is a great character moment for Corey, stepping out of Rick's shadow. The stakes are high with that 5-figure price tag.
20,000 leagues is about 69,000 miles. A lot of people think that that means depth, that you're going down 20,000 leagues. That's not physically possible. It actually...
Cut to Rick's guitar lesson. His teacher, Jesse, shows him power chords. Skateboards, calling it the way everybody cheats. Rick struggles with his fat little fingers. He's determined, saying he'll go home and practice "Mary had a little lamb" or something. It's a sincere, funny midlife crisis moment juxtaposed with Corey's high-stakes business. The contrast between Rick's personal hobby and the shop's deals is classic Pawn Stars.
How do you do that?
Just grab a string and just practice that. Once you get used to keeping that space between your fingers.
All right, I'm gonna go home and practice.
All right, man.
Expert Rebecca examines the book. She confirms it's an extremely rare first American edition, with maybe 50 copies surviving. She points out key identifiers like the jellyfish design and the spelling C's on the title page. Corey is thrilled. Rebecca says its value is tied to condition. It's been restored and faded, but given its rarity, she appraises it at about $12,000. Corey's gamble to handle this himself is paying off.
But it speaks back to what Verne is really famous for, which is these sort of exploration and travel narratives. So Antarctica, and in here they visit Atlantis. So I think everyone should read Jules Verne. He's a lot of fun.
The negotiation. Corey offers $7,500. The seller counters at $10,000, then $9,500. Corey argues he needs a profit and it will take time to sell. He finally agrees to $9,500. Deal. Corey is proud, calling it one of the rarest first editions we've ever had. He proved his mettle. The seller was a tough negotiator, but Corey held his ground and secured a legendary piece of literary history for the shop.
I will come down to 95, and that's my bottom dollar.
Meet me at 9.
9,500 is going to give you 25% return. I think that's a good number for you. If you want to go 95, it's your book.
All right, that will work for me, man. Cool, 9,500.
The guys immediately mock Rick again. Corey asks if he learned Stairway to Heaven. Rick says he's just learning chords. The old man calls him a wannabe groupie. Chumlee starts singing ridiculous squirrel-themed parody songs. The relentless teasing is the heart of the show. Rick's attempt at a dignified hobby is constantly undermined by his family's childishness. It's hilarious and oddly heartwarming in its own dysfunctional way.
Chum, get up. Every time I go and try something new, they always give me crap about it. It's not my fault. They don't have any hobbies outside of being...
Rick, you're a wannabe groupie ever since you met that Roy Daltrey.
New item. A seller has an 1896 bar-mounted corkscrew from a San Francisco hotel. He wants $10,000 to buy his wife an anniversary present. Rick tests it, successfully opening a bottle of wine. He likes it but says these tools are common. The seller claims the original family is offering him more. Rick offers $100, then $500. The seller refuses. Rick walks away, giving his classic "just because something's old doesn't mean it's valuable" line.
Pretty cool. So this right here basically clamps onto the bar, like that. Squeeze down on the bottle, and okay.
It'll handle.
Where did you get this?
My great-grandpa used to have a bar.
A female seller brings amazing Metallica memorabilia, a handmade banner reading "Metal Up Your Ass," and an Iron Maiden jacket, both signed by the band in 1986. The signatures include Cliff Burton, who died months later. She skipped school to meet them. The personal story is incredible. Corey is a huge fan and knows the history. The emotional connection and Burton's signature make this potentially very valuable and deeply cool.
No, you didn't just say that. No. I have a jacket signed by Metallica. They had signed the back here, and also I have a banner that I made.
Who's Mooya?
Corey calls in expert Steve, a massive Metallica fan. Steve authenticates the signatures, noting they match the band's early sloppy style. He confirms they're real, especially valuing the Cliff Burton signature. He's never seen a banner like this. The story and photos add provenance. The expert is so excited he says he'll buy them if the shop doesn't. The authentication is a slam dunk, raising the item's prestige.
First 3 albums, Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, that was the core 4 guys. Kirk Hammett, guitar, James Hetfield, sang, played guitar, Lars, of course, on the drums.
Steve gives the valuation, $1,500 to $2,000 each. The seller originally wanted $5,000 total. Corey, considering framing costs and the Iron Maiden logo on the jacket, lowballs at $1,000 for both. He explains the display expenses. The seller counters at $2,000. They haggle and settle at $1,700 for both. She's happy, never thinking she'd make money from her teenage fandom. Corey scores a unique piece of metal history.
$1,500 to $2,000 each.
Each?
Yes.
I think that's great. I think that's fair.
Okay, cool. Great pieces.
All right, man, that's awesome.
Cool. I thought it was way cool. She actually got to meet Cliff Burton.
The final scene. Rick is trying to practice guitar in the warehouse for peace. The old man and Chumlee find him and start mockingly singing and playing air instruments. Rick pleads, "Can I just practice in peace, guys?"
At the pawn shop with my two old bosses.
Ever since the guys found out I was taking guitar lessons, they will not get off my case. I thought at least back here in the warehouse, I'd get some peace and quiet. I guess not.
But one of my bosses is bald, and the other is doing just fine.
The cold open is wild. A customer says he brought the first printed book with American baseball rules. Rick calls it a cool collectible. The customer promises his price won't be out of the ballpark. Rick immediately roasts his joke. "Stick with books. Stay away from comedy, dude." What a classic Rick burn right off the bat. It sets the tone for a sports-heavy episode, but with that trademark pawn shop skepticism.
Hey, Adam, what's up?
I'm not going to throw you a curve with this one.
Okay.
I brought you the first printed book with American baseball rules. I can promise you it's not a price out of the ballpark.
The book guy is back. He explains this 1834 Boston book is the birth certificate of baseball, featuring the first printed diamond diagram. Rick notes baseball got popular during the Civil War. The seller says this is a full generation before that, showing how early it is. This is huge for history buffs. You can tell Rick is intrigued but clueless on value. He's already planning to call an expert. Smart move.
It's really cool. It's a cool sports collectible. It's a cool book. And where was this printed? It was printed in the States?
It's actually printed in 1834 in Boston. It actually has a wonderful illustration of...
A new customer has a Civil War drum. He says his father gave it to him. Rick explains drummer boys gave battlefield commands. The seller adds it was a gnarly job since enemies targeted them to cause chaos. Rick calls the Civil War brutal, the Boys' War. The seller wants $12,000. Rick spots post-1900 hardware and repairs instantly. He's not convinced on the date or value. Another expert call is coming. The drama builds.
I'm here today to sell my Civil War drum my father gave me 30 years ago. My father being an antique dealer, we have so many antiques, this won't even make a dent.
The drum expert delivers the bad news. He examines it and says, "I don't think so." He dates it to the 1870s to 80s, a post-war parade drum. Ouch. The story just changed from battlefield heroics to town parades. The expert says there's still a market, but the value just cratered. The seller's face must have fallen. Rick's initial suspicion was right. This is why experts are crucial. They separate the epic stories from the expensive mistakes.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this is a later piece. My guess is 1870s, 1880s. And this looks to me like one that would have been used as a parade drum.
The negotiation is awkward now. The drum seller drops his price from $12,000 to $500. Rick points out the story's value changed completely. The seller counters with $1,000, then $950. Chumlee cracks a joke. "It's possible I could graduate from Harvard." Rick finally agrees to $950. The seller takes it, saying it takes up too much space with kids and dogs. A $12,000 dream becomes a under $1,000 space clearer. That's pawn shop reality.
I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd sell it for $1,000, but I can't sell it for anything less.
I'll tell you what, I'll go 900.
Meet me in the middle, 950, and it's done.
All right, I'll do the 950. Cool.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Corey checks out a vintage cast iron ice shaver. The customer says it's for a drink called Hollow. Corey dates it to the 1930s to 40s. The guy wants $900, citing an online price. Corey says he could see it in a 50s diner but won't pay that. He offers $300. They haggle to $350. The seller happily takes it to buy a plane ticket to see his son, a sweet end for a quirky item.
Like this. That would make sense. I would say it's probably 1930s, 1940s, just the way it's built, the cast iron. I mean, for how old it is, man, it's in really good shape. Pretty much, I mean, you would throw a big block of ice in there.
Rick's sports expert, Jeremy, is here for the baseball book. He calls it truly awesome and amongst the most rare books referencing baseball. He highlights wild early rules like you could get an out by throwing the ball at the runner. Baseball/dodgeball, Rick says. The expert is genuinely excited. This confirmation is huge. huge, but he says Rick needs a book expert for value. The plot thickens.
The baseball.
Wow, that's great to hear.
You know, the term baseball had been around before this book, but what this book did, it brought together baseball, diamond, some of the rules, and, you know, had the illustration of the boys playing. So it was just such an important piece relative to, you know, the evolution of the sport that would happen thereafter.
Chumlee gets a Prohibition-era gem, a 1932 Bridgewater's corkscrew in a coffin featuring hated prohibitionist Volstead. Chum explains the Volstead Act created crime. The seller calls it the king daddy of all corkscrews. He wants $1,100. Chumlee, shockingly knowledgeable on history, says it's cool but not worth that. He lowballs at $150. The haggling is on. Chumlee negotiating serious history. You love to see it.
Good, good. I have a Bridgewater's corkscrew, produced in 1932. It comes in a coffin. This is more or less the king daddy of all corkscrews and bottle openers.
All right. I guess even back in the day, they were popping bottles.
The corkscrew deal closes. The seller asks for $850. Chumlee offers $300. They meet halfway at $550. No! Chumlee sticks firm, finally offering $325. The seller accepts, revealing he bought it 15 years ago for $125. A $200 profit works well for him. Chumlee scores a weird, historic piece. It's a perfect chum buy, unusual, with a darkly humorous story. He's learning from the best.
It's a nice piece. The box is in good condition, but I don't see it as a piece I can pay over $300 for.
Can't go $350.
I could do $325, and we can make a deal.
Yeah, right.
Let's go write it up.
Corey's turn with a 1970s Nash skateboard. The buyer got it for $1.78 at a thrift store and wants $150. Corey explains Nash was a water ski company that jumped on the skateboard trend. He points out the wheels aren't original, killing collector value. He offers $20. The seller refuses, saying he'll let his grandkids use it. A hard pass. Sometimes the sentimental value of a dollar fine beats a lowball offer.
Nash is one of those funny companies, man. I know in the 50s, they were like the premier water ski company in the world. They made a ton of products over the years.
The book expert, Rebecca, arrives. She confirms its rarity as a landmark of American sports culture. She notes its good condition despite looking grubby. She gives the valuation. At auction in 2009, $3,000. But in a retail setting like Rick's shop, $7,500 to $8,500. Rick's eyes must have lit up. This is the green light he needed. Now he just has to buy it for less. The high-stakes negotiation is next.
This is a really, really rare book. This wasn't the first even to have a baseball diamond. It wasn't necessarily the one that talked about baseball, but this...
The baseball book showdown. Rick throws a curveball offer of $3,500. The seller reminds him Rebecca said $7,500 plus. Rick argues retail is long and involved. The seller counters $4,500. Rick meets in the middle at $4,000. The seller agrees. He says Rick is always fair. Rick tells him to stop with the baseball puns. You're just embarrassing yourself. Rick wins. A massive score for the shop and a hilarious end to the deal.
People, but it also can fall in the middle.
So let's fall in the middle at $4,000, and I will be comfortable with that.
$4,000. You're fair to me always, I'll do it.
Sweet.
The episode opens with a classic Harrison breakfast debate. The old man is eating a vegetarian burrito with eggs, potatoes, and cheese. Rick mocks it, asking if it's healthy just because there's no bacon. The old man fires back, "Y'all quit picking on me!" This hilarious family bickering is peak Pawn Stars. It perfectly sets up the competitive vibe that's about to explode. The chemistry here is why we watch.
A vegetarian burrito from the taco joint.
Yeah.
What's in it?
The three basic groups: eggs, potatoes, and cheese.
The argument escalates into a full-blown challenge. Rick claims he's the best buyer this store's ever had. The old man, tired of the boasting, proposes a competition. Each gets $50 to go out and buy something. The winner is crowned Best Dealmaker. Rick arrogantly accepts, ready to lose? The old man just wants to get back to his questionable burrito. This friendly rivalry is the heart of the episode. Let the games begin.
You might not want to get into this with me and your dad.
Instead of arguing so much, just have a competition, see who's the best. Set it at $50 and y'all go out and buy something.
First customer of the day. A guy has the pen LBJ used to sign Medicare into law in 1965. Rick calls it pretty cool, but says LBJ isn't his favorite president. The seller wants $5,000. Rick explains the history, then jokes that the old man is still alive because of Medicare, getting his heart cleaned out. The old man calls Rick a turkey. The interplay between history and their personal banter is always so entertaining.
I got this pen that LBJ used to sign Medicare into law in 1965.
That's pretty cool. Not one of my favorite presidents, but pretty cool.
The LBJ pen negotiation concludes. The seller sticks to $5,000. Rick starts at $800, then goes to $1,000 as his top dollar. The seller reluctantly accepts, saying it hurts. Rick thinks he got a deal, but the old man immediately says, "You spent too much money, Rick." Rick waffles, "Maybe I did. I don't know." That self-doubt is rare for Rick. The competition is already messing with his confidence. Great moment.
I wish, we had a little note there, Johnson, on the back of this thing somewhere, but I have no doubt this is what it is. I give you 800 for it.
800? No, come on.
It's a pen the president used to sign a bill.
Corey is at a swap meet for the $50 challenge. He finds a Holyfield vs. Holmes fight ticket but passes. Then he spots a talking astronaut G.I. Joe with lifelike hair in its original box. The seller wants $75. Corey haggles him down to $50. Corey's strategy is smart. Toys are easy to sell to nostalgic men. He's confident this will win. The old man will be a tough judge, though.
Is your booth?
Yes, it is.
What's up with this Scottie Pippen basketball? Is this really signed by him?
No, I wished it was.
Oh.
It's mass-produced.
A serious item enters the shop, a Kentucky long rifle. The seller calls it the most significant gun ever made in America. Rick gives a masterclass on its history, explaining how its accuracy helped win the Revolutionary War. The seller wants $1,500. Rick points out the plain patch box lowers value and offers $500. The seller refuses, claiming he sold similar for up to $25,000. Rick knows a deal isn't happening here.
You've got a Kentucky long rifle. You get a lot of guns in this shop, but this is probably the most significant gun ever made in America.
You sound like someone selling tickets on a ship to go to America.
Corey is at a yard sale. He finds handmade snow runners and a creepy Anakin Skywalker figure. His strategy is to find something he knows he can sell, but the others can't. He asks about the snow runners. The seller wants $75. Corey passes. He's playing the long game. It's funny seeing Corey strategize so seriously. He's usually the comic relief, but he wants to win this title.
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going good.
Is that Anakin Skywalker?
It is Anakin Skywalker.
Thing is creepy, man.
Corey finds his challenge item. It's a 1960s bus token and change machine, a Johnson fare box. He explains how it prevented driver theft. The seller wants $100. Corey offers $40. They settle on $50. Corey is thrilled, saying he's sold these before and can turn $50 into $500. He's sure he's won. The confidence is high, but he hasn't seen Rick's weird find yet.
What's up with this thing?
That's a token and change machine from an old bus from the 1960s.
Old Johnson fare box, huh?
Yeah.
These things are cool. Before this, the bus driver just pretty much had free reign over the entire bus.
A customer brings a Bible with a handwritten 1977 letter from Mickey Mantle to Roger Maris, written in rehab. The seller wants $1,500. Rick is instantly skeptical, noting Mantle's well-known alcoholism and that the preachy tone sounds not very Mickey Mantle-ish. The letter is covered in packing tape, which is a red flag. Rick calls in authentication expert Steve. This could be an incredible score or a total bust.
Actually, it's got a handwritten letter on the back cover from Mickey Mantle to Roger Maris in 1977 during a Mickey Mantle rehab stay.
The authentication is a disaster. Expert Steve compares the writing to real Mantle examples. He says Mantle's real writing had speed, flow, spontaneity. This is slow, block lettering. His verdict, Mickey Mantle never signed this. It's a forgery. The customer is disappointed but vows to keep treasure hunting. Rick delivers the classic line, "If something's too good to be true, it probably is." Another pawn shop lesson learned.
It just doesn't sound very Mickey Mantle-ish. 1977, if he is in rehab, I'm assuming it's more of a letter, "Oh man, I can't believe I'm in this place. These guys say I'll get out of here."
The $50 challenge challenge judging begins. Rick shows his soap baby, possibly from the 1896 McKinley campaign. The old man says it looks like a turd. Corey presents his bus fare box, bought for $50. Chum shows his talking G.I. Joe, also $50. The old man critiques each. Corey's will take a year to sell, Rick's is pretty lame, and Chum's was overpaid for. The tension builds as he decides the winner.
Hey, Pops. Look, I got a yard sale. These guys are such amateurs.
Amateurs. Check that out.
Oh, what are you trying to do? Break the desk?
No, he's trying to give me a heart attack.
The old man announces the winner, Chumlee. He says the G.I. Joe is the most easiest one to sell. Rick is in disbelief, calling his soap baby presidential memorabilia. The old man stands firm. Today, and the day only, you're the best deal maker here. Chum is crowned champion. Rick is utterly defeated, whining, "I was never your favorite." The underdog wins. A perfect, hilarious end to the family competition.
It looks exactly like a turd.
Hey, come on, cool it, boys. I'm the damn judge. Corey, yours is a pretty nice item, and we will sell it, but it'll take probably a year and a half to get rid of it.